All right, hello. I'm back again, and I just want to thank you for the opportunity to be able to serve as your chair, and I'm looking for the opportunity to be able to run as chair again for the next 2 years. In the last video, I talked about unity, and then for my first term and my second term being rhythm. And I just want to point out one thing about unity is that Jim Barry, the vice chair, did say about Steve Redmond and the Patriots how much work they put into the Southwest Quadrant and how much that they ended up doing for us, and he was very impressed about that. And that's a testimony to unity. Unity is going to be key to win in 2022. What's also going to be vital for us is for the organization to have a rhythm going and to be able to move forward with the same drum beat time after time after time again. And that way we'll be on the same page all the way up to the general election in 2022. And how does that look like? Well, first of all, I want to talk about some success we had in the last 2 years and how we can build off of that. One would be that we started building a relationship with Hope College along with GVSU. And with that, I like to continue to build that relationship. In fact, it wouldn't be a bad idea for us to be able to start another subcommittee called the Youth Vice Chair. A couple other counties have that, and of course, if you know, State Party has that. I think it would be very key for us to get the chairs of those two individual parties to come together to put that committee together so we can have a stronger relationship and we don't have to worry about reaching out to them or anything like that. They would already be at the table. And I believe if we continue to bring people to the table, we can continue to expand our group and have a better outreach and a better connection with the voters. And also, by building on that relationship, we'd be able to build a better coalition when it comes to door knocking. The second thing I think we ought to be doing is the local governing bodies, the townships and the cities. We don't really have that much of a relationship with them, but we did start a relationship by encouraging people to run for some positions that happen to be open. And so we have some connections in some townships, and we're looking to make some connections in the city. By continuing to build those relationships, we'll be able to reach out to even more people, not just when it comes to phone calling or door knocking, but it creates influence, it creates additional money. And also, for future references, we need to have a farm system. Ottawa County doesn't really have that much of a farm system right now. We end up having to look at positions that are open, and then we're just kind of, well, who can run, and you know what? If we were to put people in the townships as a trustee or supervisor, or city council, or even school board members, and if we can train them, then we'd be able to have future leaders for future positions when they open up. And speaking of training, I think it's very vital for us to be able to educate all the precinct delegates on all areas of the party. When it comes to the convention, when it comes to the executive committee, what would be the role of a precinct delegate, and even what would be the role as an executive committee, even going beyond that and looking at second congressional district or even state party. A lot of precinct delegates have come to me over the last year and a half, and it says, well, what is it that we're really supposed to do? And I've even had a couple elected officials come up to me and say, well, what is my exact role on the executive committee? So I like to be able to broaden that and be able to educate the people and not just post it on the website or anything like that, but have actual training meetings, have training videos. And I think the more educated our people are, the more they'll be able to articulate a clear message when it comes to our voters. Speaking of a message, I've been looking at the new executive committee, and I think Chris Markles, along with Maya Hahn, would be excellent candidates to be co-chairs for the communication committee. Communication is going to be very key. Communication is where we can come together and understand exactly what it is that we want to say and articulate, not within our party, not with just the precinct delegates, but with the voters. They need to know exactly why it is that we want to vote Republican. They need to know exactly why it is important to even go out and vote. As we all know, people ask, well, why should I go out and vote? And why should I vote for your candidate? And we need to have a clear, strong message with that. We need to have more letters to the editors. We need to continually to update our website. And with new social media such as MeWe and Parler, we should probably consider getting accounts with those and start social media there as well. Increase our votes or posts on Facebook as well as our tweets on Twitter. I think by just doing a lot more in the communication department allows us to be able to be better connected, and not only better connected with each other, the executive committee and the precinct delegates, but more connected when it comes to the voters. Lastly, when it comes to a rhythm and stuff like that, I like to continue to build a rhythm in our finance area. And even though I didn't have a finance chair, financially speaking, we did pretty well with the organization. Not only do we have more money sitting in our accounts than we did 2 years ago, but we have to keep in mind that we had to deal with COVID, which we all know that nonprofit organizations are struggling immensely when it comes to raising money. So how is it that we have a couple extra $1,000 despite COVID, and the fact that it was a presidential year, which means we spent more money? Well, we went outside the box. We went outside the box by doing a golf outing and also a clay pigeon shoot. And also, we've been building upon our club membership. By doing those 3 things, we were able to raise more money and be able to have what we needed to have the success that we had. Remember, we had 4 candidates that went over 100,000 votes, and Ottawa County alone, Ottawa County along with one other county was the only counties that had Trump over 100,000. So we got the rhythm going in finance. Now we need to continue expanding our club membership and continue expanding our outside the box when it comes to fundraising, and just continue to hammer that. And I also have 2 more years of experience now that I've been the chair. I'm also supporting Vicki Lowing to be the vice chair, which I know she'll be able to help me when it comes to fundraising, and we'll continue using the same personnel that we've had over the last year. And I just want to close with this. I know that we can make things happen. We were able to get over every single hurdle in the last 2 years, and we will be able to continue getting over any hurdles. In fact, when it comes to confidence in me being the chair, Laura Cox herself, the chairwoman of MRP, has endorsed me to be the chair once more. So I want to thank you for your time, and I'll continue to fight for you as I always work hard, passionate, and dedicated, and you know that you can count on me for another 2 years to make things happen.